Monogamy really protects men in their pleasures. It says you have this one legal wife, you take care of her, and that's your responsibility. Anybody else, doesn't matter. This is how you do it. Whereas you can have as many girlfriends as you want. That's not against the law. Girlfriends, boyfriends, jump downs, whatever. You can have all that. That's totally fine and acceptable. Now we'll say, yeah, we don't really like that, but it's already expected. The last time you saw a bunch of groupies, a bunch of people just screaming and everything like that, and these are a bunch of men chasing after a woman. Interesting how that is, right?
Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The content, views, and educational material you are about to experience could challenge your belief, trigger strong emotions, and frankly, piss you off. This isn't for everyone. If you're not ready to confront new ideas, or if your feelings bruise easily, this might be the time to click away. Expect to be challenged, to think, and you might even want to scream at the screen. Proceed with caution, and remember, you chose to be here. Let's get it.
Aisha M says there are a lot of good women out there who need good husbands. However, the majority of these men are married. It's quite possible. Most men are open to poly? I usually see them with one wife, but the option to marry more. That's a very interesting question. Every single man that I know, that I've talked to, that's a Muslim man, likes the idea of poly, even wants to have multiple wives. But unfortunately, we live in a gynocentric society, and many have been societally castrated, I'll call it. Okay, so we are in the condition that we are in today as men being weak. Anything, if a man speaking up about something or a man gets upset about something, it's looked at as some type of form of abuse just by simply raising a voice about something or speaking on something passionately, for example, unless he does the Mark Lamont Hill thing, which is a side note, but I want you to really look it up, because I can't deal with sometimes people have in our communities that some people are intellectuals, right? And they can be given a microphone, they can speak very well, they can articulate very well. You said that very well, Huey Freeman. And so Candace Owens, who many people didn't like or don't like, and some are tending to like, since she's actually growing and maturing, but she had a conversation with him. And he had mentioned that we do not allow social constructs to change biology in our speaking. She interrupted and asked him, so can a man have a baby? Now, I want you to look this piece up. You can look on YouTube. It's not AI, not changed. He immediately said, it depends. And then sometimes. The man literally said a man can have a baby. Just before this, he said that we're not allowing social constructs to change biology. Now, why do I say that? Because, again, it reminds me of my favorite Muslim comedian. One of the two is Dave Chappelle. I don't know if you ever saw the sketch with Rick James on there and talking about rubbing his boots in his couch. Some of you probably have, right? And then he said, I wouldn't do anything like that. And then, he literally said the same thing, but they rolled the tape right back to when he just denied it. And he's like, cocaine's a hell of a drug. I don't know. Never taken cocaine, but definitely sells well. But regardless, my point is that when you're dealing with a people who are looking and striving, trying to get identity, or they're trying to conform to so many different things, but you don't have that inner peace, then that's problematic. It's very difficult to look at the nuclear family in the West right now, where men are constantly getting chopped down. And it's looked at as being, the patriarchy. And I'm like, what's the problem with the patriarchy? Like, what's the issue?
You're already on our channel, and you see how we are empowering people when it comes to polygamy education. You may be wondering, what's the next step? Especially knowing that we are the authors of the book,
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. If you want to get off the emotional roller coaster, whether it's jealousy, insecurity, frustration, anger, maybe even guilt in some cases, you're going to want to pick up this book.
Definitely wish I would have had this book back a while ago when we first embarked on polygyny. And you will learn a lot of things about minding your marriage and what that actually means, so you're not comparing your marriage to your co-wives or anybody else's for that matter.
If you've heard, I'm not against polygamy, I just against when it's not done right, you want to learn how to do it right, this will teach you how to be more than twice the man you need to be to get it done. Let's talk polygamy.com. We look forward to shipping yours off to you.
You know, so what's the problem with a man leading the family? Are we just simply utilities or just sponsors or just be used to make everything else comfortable around you and just sit back and then get denigrated as though it's not part of our biology to pump out every second that I'm here to be building and growing 1,500 sperm cells? Is it supposed to not be that way? This is something new? No, it's not. So whether you're looking at a book by Dr. Nancy Cott, Harvard professor Dr. Nancy Cott, in her book Public Vows, when she discusses why the West is really on this monogamy kick, not because they follow it, but because monogamy really protects men in their pleasures. It says you have this one legal wife, you take care of her, and that's your responsibility. Anybody else, doesn't matter. This is how you do it. Whereas you can have as many girlfriends as you want. That's not against the law. Girlfriends, boyfriends, jump downs, whatever. You can have all that. That's totally fine and acceptable. Now we'll say, yeah, we don't really like that, but it's already expected. The last time you saw a bunch of groupies, a bunch of people just screaming and everything like that, and these are a bunch of men chasing after a woman. Interesting how that is, right? So whether it's athletes or these celebrities and stuff like that, how many women capitulate their own things? I mean, Chris Brown puts the stuff in songs talking about it. Drake puts stuff in songs talking about these women. You know, you throw it all away, or Usher can go ahead and, you know, break up families. But is it really him breaking up families? Is that just something that's acceptable in society? And we think it's okay. When I came up, it wasn't okay to go ahead and say, all right, well, when I had this baby shower, I was like, cool, where's your husband?
Right.
And there's no husband, but you're still celebrating this. There used to be something called shame. But now there's a shaming of shame. Like you fat, you're morbidly obese. The DEX scan shows it. This is harming your health. And you're saying it's fat shaming or body shaming or slut shaming. So the shaming of shame to begin with, when we lose that to our principles and our entire essence to begin with, then the world is upside down. So whether it's dealing with the alphabet gang who hijacked the rainbow, for example, and calling that something normal when love is love, unless it comes to polygyny, where a man could actually build a family, have a strong legacy, all the children know who the father is, and he's required to become more than twice the man. So all of these things not only make sense, but it's a threat to the structures that be, because that's the solidification of the family. Interestingly enough, the people who aren't reproducing enough are going to have to try to figure something out with getting that in there, because little do they know, they're not talking much about people like Elon Musk with his 10 kids, at least it's 10 right now, from what I believe, and then putting everybody on the same land and stuff like that. Yeah, well, another word for that to make him, you know, responsible, if you will, is polygyny. But I digress.